Hey guys, welcome back to Previa Alliance. It's Sarah.
And Whitney.
Today we have so many awesome questions. You guys keep sending the best
Y'all
stuff.
are the best.
So, and we love putting Whitney on the hot seat. Let's just be real, okay? I feel like your best comes out when you're just like on the hot seat.
It's very candid, and
Yeah.
I love it because it's genuine.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Okay, here we go. Hey Whitney, I hear phantom cries, like the baby's crying when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening?
So I think every mom goes through this because I went through it with both my daughters, and inevitably it happened when I was in the shower.
Oh, I was fixing to say the shower. I would literally be like, "It's what's happening."
Yeah, I mean it was bizarre.
I've woken up in the middle of the night and been like, he's crying. And I'm like checking the monitor. I'm like, oh boy.
Okay, so we recently got a puppy, and I had phantom cries about the dog.
You're the newborn stage of the puppy again.
She about to find her a new home out in the backyard because
Bless her.
I can't.
Butter, is that right?
Yes, Butter.
Okay, bless
Butter
Butter's
the
heart.
Basset Hound.
Butter the Basset Hound is put Whitney through the newborn.
No one warned me how hard an indoor dog was. I've only had outside dogs, so this is, whew, it's a challenge.
That's why you're getting the most candid Whitney today. Butter's like acting up.
She is. So, once we get our fence fixed up, she's going to have her home outside.
Yes, Butter will be in her place.
But don't you worry, listeners. She will have a doggy house. She will have water, food, and we have a
Butter lives
yard.
the life of a princess.
She does. She's literally taken over my kid's princess couch.
Butter's not this.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you hear Butter crying and she's not crying?
Well, I'm getting a little mad at myself because then I dang got up to go check on the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But when my girls were newborns, I always had the phantom cries when I was in the shower. I don't know what it was about the shower, but maybe it's because I knew, okay, like I'm gonna have to take some like actual steps. Like I have to like wrap a towel around myself and like get out of the tub. Like I can't just bolt.
Or you're maybe just relaxed for the first time in forever.
In weeks.
Yeah.
So what I did, at least with my older daughter, because we just had a larger bathroom in that house that we lived in, I would put her in her bouncer or her swing and just put her in the bathroom with me.
Mm-hmm.
That way I could just peek out and look at her. Now, similarly with my younger daughter, I would put her in her bouncer just at the doorway of our bathroom. So again, I could peek out and look at her, and I knew that she was fine.
Yeah.
Or, I would have the monitor with me on full volume.
Yeah.
That way I knew, okay, like if she cries,
I'm going
to hear it. There's not a way around it.
Why do you even think that happens?
I think that is a mom thing.
Uh-huh.
I think that is our way of still kind of keeping tabs on everything. I don't know that it's necessarily an anxiety thing, because I think every mom experiences the phantom cries.
Yeah.
I think we're conditioned to hearing cries in the newborn stage. And so even when we're not, we think we hear it and we're like, oh, let me go check on my baby. As weird as this sounds, and this is my own little theory, there may be nothing to back this up, I wonder if it's a SIDS prevention tool in moms.
That we are just given...
Yeah, that we are going to get up and check on them even if they're not crying.
Just to check them.
Just to make sure that they're okay.
So you're not crazy if you're hearing this. We're
all
all hearing this.
Yes.
But to just reality check yourself. Mm-hmm. Where's the baby? Check on the baby. Sometimes I've thought it's a phantom cry. Maybe I've tried to fool myself and the baby's actually crying.
Yeah.
So that's happened too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's normal.
It's very normal, very common.
Uh-huh.
I do think it's like a protective measure in our brains. It can be frustrating though, because you're like, really, I just got in the shower for the first time in 2 or 3 days.
You almost feel like you can't have that moment.
Exactly. Yeah, so I will say, just be careful to not experience mom guilt when you do get in the shower and you hear that phantom cry, and then you're like, well, I wouldn't be hearing this if I didn't get in the shower. Mama, take time for yourself.
Because you're going to hear it.
You're going to hear it. Keep the monitor with you. If you need to pull baby into the bathroom with you while you're taking the shower, go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely go for it.
It's very normal. Thank you for bringing that one up. People need to know this. Okay. Someone said to me, I'm all up in my feelings. Whitney, what does that mean? What should I do?
So, all up in my feelings, because I have said this before too, means you feel a variety of different things. So, it could be that you are stressed, that you're overwhelmed, that you're super happy to have your baby here, but you're exhausted.
Yeah.
You may also be kind of grieving the life that you had pre-baby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that you just feel a little bit of everything all at once.
And that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Here's a weird thing, and I say this to my clients all the time. You are allowed to have conflicting, coexisting emotions.
We talked about this past joy and grief.
Mm-hmm. So you're allowed to have those feelings. It feels strange because, again, they are conflicting emotions.
Yeah.
So it's not going to feel normal.
Right.
It's not.
Because I feel like it's almost society saying, you should be happy. You should be grateful. You should not look, or you can only feel X at this certain time.
Uh-huh.
Well, and we've talked about this past. This generation, we're doing a lot of work.
Yes, we are.
On how we manage our emotions.
Yeah.
Healing past traumas. Looking at our inner self. So, and some people don't like talking about feelings. So this person who said this to you, they just may not be comfortable with addressing feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to address feelings.
Exactly. So this is their best way of communicating that they just have a lot going on.
So you do have a lot going on. If you're a mom to be pregnant, you are growing a human, grew a human. Now keeping this child alive, not meeting your probably basic needs, sleep, food, your outlets, water. So it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are all there, and I would love to tell you that I've not been told that. And as I've going into year 4 or 5 of motherhood, I still get told that.
Yep. And
I embrace that because I say I'm trying to work through these feelings.
Absolutely.
Some days I do it better than others.
Yeah. So normalize that you can have coexisting, conflicting emotions, and that's not a bad thing.
No. Thank you for mentioning that one. We needed that. Here's another one. This one's I understand this one. Hey, Whitney, after a long road of trying to get pregnant, I finally am. Good. Yay.
Yay, congratulations.
But this is really hard. And I feel like I can't complain or say I'm struggling since I tried so much and wanted so much for this.
Absolutely. So I almost have a question for this question is, are you still currently pregnant and struggling with that, finding maybe the happiness that you thought you would have in pregnancy? Or is baby here and you're like, oh, this is more than I thought it was going to be kind of thing?
And I think both.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about if she's still pregnant.
Okay.
The nausea.
Gosh. The exhaustion in that first trimester.
Uh-huh. The growing pains when you're getting to third trimester. The uncomfortableness.
Heartburn.
Yes, you're not sleeping.
And honestly, me personally, because I went through infertility to get pregnant with my first daughter, and I had worked in labor and delivery, so again, seeing kind of the worst of the worst. I never felt like I could fully relax and enjoy my pregnancy for fear of losing the pregnancy. And so, and I really do empathize with this because I always thought, well, this is what you wanted. Why can't you just enjoy it?
Yeah.
And it's because something would just hold me back. So if that's you, Mama, I think that's a protective measure because honestly, when we have to hang the moon and stars to get our babies here, it's really hard to feel like we can enjoy it because it's almost out of our control yet again with the pregnancy because we can only do so much.
Yeah. But it's okay to say, it's really hard to be sick.
Yeah.
90% of the day.
Yeah.
It's really hard to feel exhausted.
It's taxing.
That's not dismissing your journey to get there, and it's not it's a gaslighting thing people say to you that says you should be happy, this is what aren't you finally joyful about this or aren't you glad now, and it's like in this moment it's hard and that's okay to say that. Now what if the baby's here? And because the same feelings can happen because postpartum is hard.
Yeah, it is. It's
newborn stage is very hard.
It's challenging for sure.
And even toddlerhood's challenging.
Oh, Lord, yes.
So what can you tell her to encourage her in that?
So you're not a bad mom.
Yeah.
You are not a bad mom for struggling because it is such a huge life transition. I felt like I struggled more going from 0 to 1 kids than 1 to 2. Because I had no clue what to expect with my oldest one.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Didn't know what to expect. You're sleep deprived. You're hurting. And for me personally, with both my daughters, I felt like once I got into a groove with them where there was a feeding schedule, naps, whatever.
It changes.
It changed.
Always.
Or I went back to work.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, good. You're about 3 months old. We're finally in a groove. I know what I'm doing. Oh, I get to go back to work now. Great.
Yeah.
Great. And then the 4-month sleep regression would hit. And then teething and all the things.
Yeah.
So it's very challenging. So I really want to normalize that what you're feeling is very appropriate.
Yeah.
You're not a bad mom.
No, and then you're not ungrateful.
No.
And don't take that as you should feel a certain way.
Exactly.
And you know what? It goes back to every stage has its own hards.
Yes.
And you don't have to justify to anyone the way you're feeling.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
Like we said previously, all up in the feels, you can have multiple feelings here. I'm grateful. I'm so proud of myself for this journey to get to this baby, but I can say,
it's hard.
It's hard. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You're not alone,
That's
Mom.
That's not a bad thing.
No. You're being honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
It's worse if you try to shove it down deep because it's always going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and our last one today. This was a good one. I feel a little looked at on this question myself. Hey, Whitney, clutter trash really bothers me.
Same.
Like,
we're in the same
yes.
boat.
I'm realizing before kids, I was able to keep up. Now it's a huge stressor to me. How can I process this? Help me.
Well, same. You and I, same.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is to realize that, if you don't get a certain chore done, that doesn't mean your house is going to burn down.
Right.
If you leave dishes in the sink overnight, is your house going to fall apart?
No.
No, it's not. Now, are there certain chores that you feel like you do need to get done on a daily basis to make your life easier? To have what you need to have to function? Then make that a priority.
Yeah. There's certain things that I know specifically to me, if I can get done, I can let other things go.
Absolutely. So for me personally, I don't like to leave dishes in the sink overnight because we used to have an ant problem.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I'm like, no, I don't want to deal with the ants anymore. I don't want to have to call pest control to come back out. So that's my thing, is the dishwasher needs to be loaded every night.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the sink does not have dishes in it, I'm cool. They can be in the drying rack.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I just don't want them in the sink.
Uh-huh.
So that is like my thing. So if that's my thing for that day, you know what? Does my floor need to be vacuumed? Probably so.
Mm-hmm.
But is my house going to fall apart?
No.
Because I didn't vacuum? No.
Mm-hmm.
And if I am utterly exhausted, then I'm calling it a win that my sink is empty.
And I think, too, I noticed certain, like, the snack in the car. I'll go back to the car line. I have to feed them snacks to get us that 15-minute drive home, just be honest.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Looking down and seeing my car trashed.
Oh, yeah. That drives me bananas.
And especially days where my senses are already, maybe James has screamed the whole day. Maybe I didn't sleep because one of them got up.
Yep.
I haven't had my water. I haven't had my basic needs. I haven't even had 5 minutes to breathe.
Yep.
That's going to bother me more that day.
Oh, for sure.
So I've had to, learning from some of our episodes, say, okay, today's going to be a hard day for me because I'm more triggered by this.
Yes.
But so if I need to keep them strapped while we're at the house for a second we get home, I have a trash bag that I purposely keep in the garage.
Nice.
That grab takes me 2 seconds while they're strapped.
Absolutely, yes.
And it feels better in that moment.
Absolutely.
But now I can know I've had a day.
Yeah.
And seeing the goldfish crunched because as soon as they get out and get released from their harnesses there, we're going to crunch those goldfish.
Yeah, you are.
And now you can't, now you're at a vacuum level.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I've had to look at myself and say, Sarah, is this a big deal?
Yeah.
To
on a
me,
scale of 1 to 10, how big is this issue?
At this moment.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sensory overload am I at? How overwhelmed am I? How tapped out am I? Okay, if I'm at a 7 or an 8 on the tapped out scale, but I know that the dishes in the sink is like a 3.
Yeah.
But because I'm over here at a 7 or 8, that 3 is going to move up to a 6.
And I've now got better at communicating with Bill about this. I think I just did it so I could keep things really good before kids, like this listener. And I'm saying, hey, Bill, he can let things go better than me.
Is that a guy thing?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. And he was like, I just said, this is really bothering me today.
Yeah.
Can you do this?
Yes.
And he'll just kind of, I think he's learned me by now where he's like, it's something so small, like you just said, but this is going to, if it's not done, she's going to
lose it.
She's going, we've lost her. She's escalated. And I don't know how it's going to take to come down.
Yeah.
So communicating that.
Yeah.
And it's going to change with kids.
Yes.
And things are going to bother you a little bit more with children.
For sure.
As we said, our senses, our basic needs are probably not going to be met, so you're more triggered.
Mm-hmm.
So, helpful tips there. Do what you can do if it's a certain thing.
Yeah. Do what's in your control.
Do what's in your control. Recognize if you're having those hard days,
mm-hmm.
maybe it's worth that a minute or 2 minutes to kind of just take that off, communicate your needs.
Yes.
And maybe look and say, maybe it's not the trash. Maybe it's I'm having a lot of unmet needs.
And the trash is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Uh-huh. And give yourself grace.
Oh, for sure.
We've talked about it before. I'm not always going to have goldfish stomped into my car.
It might be for a few years, but it will not be forever.
It won't be forever. When they're 16, I'm not going to be hopefully dealing with that. They may be a whole other bucket of issues, but
I was about to say there's probably going to be some French fries in the floorboard at that point.
Yeah.
In their car.
In their car. Mommy's going to toss some bags of goldfish.
Yes.
I saw that Instagram video. It's like when you go to your kid's house one day.
Yeah.
And she's leaping on the couch and all that. I'm like, oh, that's coming.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me of one I saw years ago, a meme on Instagram that said, when my kids are teenagers, I want to crawl in bed at 3 a.m. and tell them how much I love cheese, too.
Oh, I'm going to.
Oh, I am.
It's coming.
I will set that alarm and I'm going to do it. And my kids are going to look at me and I'm going to be like, payback.
Rise and shine at 5 a.m., Will, because we had that greeting this morning. He decided to start.
And then I'm going to scream.
Yeah.
And just lay in the floor.
And then not want to get dressed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And not like my breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And not want to get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming, moms. But what we're saying is we're normalizing this.
Oh, for sure.
You're not alone in this.
Oh,
Keep sending us questions. We love this.
Yes.
We love you guys. We're here for you.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.